I'm a better trainer than Brendan. Oh, come on, May. A little humility?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a little thing called. Did we ever name this segment? No, we'll just call it Bias Roundtable for now, even though that's probably already the name we've been using. I am your host with the ghost living in my closet somewhere, Foster, and I am joined by
Williamson.
no nicknames or special things or no?
No, didn't plan that far ahead.
Okay. And together we are the Anime Egotists, the worst people to talk about anime, despite the fact that we watch it almost every day of our lives. But before we get into it, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, which feels kind of weird to say considering you haven't even seen the video yet, but everybody else is saying that, so who knows? So anyways, Williamson, I don't want to waste your time here. You know about this thing called Pokemon, right?
Never heard of it.
Really? All right, well, there's this guy named Ash, and he's never won a league, except now, apparently. So, for those of you who have been living under a rock, Ash finally won a league. It took 23, 24 something seasons, but it finally happened in the Alola region, which his series has been described as, like, not terrible, but not all that great. But regardless, it got people thinking. If he decided to go a different path, like for example, people were saying, "Oh, Ash is going to leave the series." We did a video about that. I don't think any of us ever actually believed he was leaving. Did you, Williamson? Do you remember us ever confirming, yes, he's leaving, or at least believing that?
No, at least not right now. I've heard a few things, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah. So like I said, we've done actually two videos, one more with more evidence and one kind of just baseless speculation. But then a little while ago, we got an update. For example. Yeah, but we got an announcement that a new series with Ash, Pikachu, and
His name is Go.
Go.
They show multiple spellings in it.
Gohgou.
Just Go.
So was Pokemon Let's Go just was Pokemon? I feel like he should have been in Pokemon Let's Go. I mean, it's in the name of whatever, doesn't matter. And it's pretty much confirmed. Ash is not going anywhere, and he also looks completely different. But not only that, along with a new character and what looks to be a score bunny, we got another new character whose name is...
I don't remember. We got two new characters.
That's right. Hey, the brand new Professor Sakura guy. I apologize to anybody fluent in Japanese because I probably completely botched that. And what's her face? Your best friend, Williamson. Who is this?
I actually don't remember. That's the one I don't remember. I'm trying to read through real quick. Yeah, I don't.
And the professor, alongside Koharu. She's the 10-year-old daughter and a childhood friend of Go. And she has Yamper the dog by her side. So it seems to be like these are our new protagonists for the series. So overall, I want to ask you, what do you think about the designs?
I think they're pretty good, and I think now that they're going back down to just two side protagonists, we might get more development for everybody. I know there was development for everybody in Sun and Moon, but I just feel like there could have been more if there was a few less characters.
I can definitely get behind that because everybody says, I don't remember which YouTuber did a video about it, but he said, well, the reason Ash and Lily get so much development in Sun and Moon is because that's how the series has always worked. Ash and Misty got more than Brock. Ash and May got more than Brock and Max, etc., etc. But the problem is when you have 6 or 7 characters running around and only 2 of them get the majority of the development, it really starts to show a lack of, it just shows a lack of, you don't have a lot to do with the characters. I'd rather have less characters with more to do than more characters who are basically just doing nothing.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. I mean, I wasn't that big in following Sun and Moon. I'll admit that, just because it was such a different version of everything. But I know, like you said, Lily and Ash got more development, and I know that there were episodes where the other characters had more of a starring role. I mean, specifically the one that comes to mind is Mao's episode where about her mother. I know that's a big thing. I'm not going to spoil
Yeah,
anything
that
about what
was
actually
a
happens,
good
but
episode, and everybody was saying it's such a great episode. I'm like, yeah, but it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, sure, we're kind of used to the idea of them not having parents in the show, but at the same time, it's we've talked about this. The problem with Sun and Moon is they'll touch on the subject and then won't address it for several episodes until you forget about it, and then they show you like, hey, check it out. Oh, remember this? And then you have to think back and be like, we did talk about that.
that's kind of why I think the second season of Sun and Moon started out better because it was like 10 episodes of that was an actual story arc.
Right,
It
right.
was it was kind of what I always remember as the Ash loses to the gym leader, so he goes and trains and then comes back and faces that gym leader again.
Yeah, yeah, I could definitely see that. And even though I wasn't the biggest fan of like them catching all the Ultra Beasts and everything, it a lot of the episodes were linked together. Like you would get maybe an episode or 2 break from it, and then they would go back to it. Even if I wasn't the hugest fan of it, they did, from an episode perspective, they did showcase it well.
Yeah, as I said though, I didn't follow Sun and Moon as much as I followed most of the other series.
Yeah, it's we're probably gonna have to completely start over because I don't think any of us are gonna catch up with Sun and Moon anytime soon. So I think we'll just have to start completely fresh with the new series.
What I'm trying to figure out is what it actually means to face in the Alolan League because I didn't hear if there were requirements for it because all the other tournaments you had to have 8 badges to compete, and then now could anyone enter? I didn't follow that far.
Funny that you say that because I remember for Sword and Shield they talked about the Champions Cup where they said, well, you need 8 badges or however many badges, but there'll be other trainers who have completed other requirements. And I'm thinking, so they just took a shortcut. Okay. I mean, I love the idea of a tournament, but still. Oh, and getting to that, and obviously, I'm not going to say who beats who in these, but Jesse and James are in the Alolan League tournament. So,
And if only they were the finalists.
yeah, they really they should have been. James should have won the whole thing, if you ask me.
Yeah,
But
he's
getting
the
to,
most deserving.
of course, yes. But do you think getting back to Ash's league victory, do you think it'll have anything to do with the new series? Because I feel like it's just one of those things that they're just gonna kind of be like, oh, he won. Let's just forget about it, move on.
I really don't know because they could be going a new route to explain like what happens as a trainer after you've done that if because you're not the champion but of the league anymore. I don't know, it's kind of confusing.
Yeah, not only that, but apparently in one of the recent episodes, he's taking on Kukui finally. So if he beats Kukui, then that might be interesting. But if he loses, it's just like, all right, you won a league, but you lost to the champion. Doesn't really feel that. Doesn't really feel. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like people would be even more upset about that.
yeah, it's quite possible.
Yeah, but what I want to know is because I also want to just really harp on his victory. Do you think he won too late? Like when you heard the news, did you care? Did you go like, "Oh, that's awesome"? Did you get in a cheerleader's uniform and jump up and down? What happened? What was your process thinking about this?
Really, I was in the category of why this one, because it just doesn't feel like it fits. Because I don't know, it just yeah, it feels late. There were other the X and Y felt like that was the one he deserved to win. He had been slowly building up to it. It's like they realized that, oh, we need something to end the series. Let's throw the tournament arc in, even though there's no way of showing how you actually enter it.
Yeah, because they seem to be like, okay, this is the first league of Alola, so anybody that seems to be the route they went with this.
Because they
So
really could
yeah,
have.
go for it. Go for it.
I was gonna say they could have done. You had to have four different Z crystals that did different things, whether they could be the unique or the elementals, and that was how you entered. If you had a handful of Z crystals, you could enter. But as far as I know, Team Rocket only had one or two.
I think they only had the one. And I don't even think they got it from trial or anything. I think they just sort of had it given to them, or they took it from someone, probably. I don't know. I don't remember that far back. It's been so long since I've sat down and watched the Sun and Moon series.
Yeah.
But I guess if leading into this new series, what do we want from it? What do you personally want from it?
I think one of the best things that they could do, um, which it's hard to tell what they're doing. I've heard speculation, but I don't know exactly what all's actually been announced. Supposedly, all the regions are supposed to be featured in it. I think, though, I do want the Galar region featured more heavily, just because it's
Yeah,
the
of
new
course.
region. I want to learn more about that region versus going back and seeing the same thing again, which we've seen Kanto twice, or has it been three times already?
Well, let's see. Kanto, and it was Kanto for the first, and I don't really know if you count the Orange Islands. And then Battle Frontier, they went back to Kanto, so yeah, basically. I don't know. They really seem to like Kanto and everything.
It's the start. They have to like it.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna do the gag of Ash gets a Grookey that just hits him on the head a lot?
That's quite possible. Yeah, I mean, with only one of his partners having one of the starters, it's probably more than likely Ash will have Grookey and Sobble.
Yeah. Oh, so you think he's gonna get both?
That's usually how it works if one of them has the other. But again, then you get seasons like the where they were in the Hoenn region where Brock caught a starter. So I could be wrong.
Yeah, I always did like how they spread out the starters. It never made sense to me in the Unova region how they're just like, oh, I'm just going to catch all the starters within the first like 15 episodes. I'm like, so just like the original series, it didn't work out for you back then. It's probably not going to work out for you now. And based on the Unova League results, it didn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded if Ash just kept improving, but then that was definitely a step back when he actually lost in an earlier round than his previous attempt.
And
Now again,
there wasn't really that much of a reason for it. I think that's my issue with him winning this league in particular. It kind of just is like, oh well, he's been here for a while, so let's give it to him. It made granted it wasn't a huge amount of a story as to why he needed to win the league in X and Y, but it was still built up as He's competent. He's developed a lot. He still has a sense of humor, which is a lot better than it was in most seasons. But he deserved it a lot more than Alolan, because Alolan was pretty much just like, oh, Destiny or Mega Evolution, or I'm gonna take this trophy. This is mine now. It pretty much felt like they gave the ultimate weapon or the ultimate prize to somebody who didn't even want it in the first place.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. His whole reasoning was because throughout the tournament, he still thought Team Flare were doing good work, but
Yeah.
then it was no, we're using the tournament to gather the energy to be able to rebuild the world, which is
which is kind of a cliche. Which is kind of a cliche in a lot of shows nowadays. Not only that, but you also. Sorry, go ahead.
Isn't that like what 5 of the teams won, is to rebuild the world in the way they want?
Let's see. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX did the tournament where they were using dual energy to resurrect something or other, something like that. I feel like a Naruto arc did that, or whatever. It just happens a lot. Not only that, but we think to ourselves, as like, if we lived in Kalos, I'd be thinking, we let a guy who almost led to the destruction of the world become the champion of the league. We're not good. We're not good at this. We're really not good at this.
Yeah. I feel like that was, though, is Ash has got a great team. I still would have I liked what he did in Diamond Pearl. I think I stated that before, where he brought back old Pokemon. So I wish he had done that in Kalos, because then it would have felt even more. It's like, he's serious. He's putting his best teams together for a chance to win the tournament.
I do agree. It is nice seeing some of the old Pokemon. At the same time, though, with how stacked his Kalos team was, I could kind of understand to some extent, because he had what? Pikachu, Wyvern, Greninja, not Fletchinder, the evolved form.
Oh, Talonflame.
Talonflame, Hawlucha, and he had
Oh yeah, because Goodra came back.
Yeah, he brought back Goodra, so I guess that's, even though he caught it in Kalos, I guess it was kind of a, let's meet them halfway. So I can understand how they would just say, no, let's just leave it as the Pokemon he has now.
Yeah, so I guess we should probably finally actually get on the topic of the new anime.
Sure. What do you think? Are you nervous?
I almost feel better because it looks like the Pokemon Company is learning, at least for their animation style. It's a step. Some will probably say it's a step back because it looks more like the older style, and by that I mean somewhere probably Diamond and Pearl.
Right.
Where it's starting to get more fluid from the original, but it's still more blocky. And I think I like it better than Sun and Moon because Sun and Moon was so jarringly different for the character animations.
Right. And we eventually got used to Sun and Moon as an art style.
Yeah, but I think this is a nice middle ground of where the characters look more like what they originally looked like, or at least Ash does. That's because that's the only one we've seen, versus sudden changes. Like Sun and Moon was so different, in my opinion.
I think I'm ready to move on with the series. Like, Sun and Moon had some really great episodes and moments and everything, but overall, I kind of felt like it was basically a kind of uneven series. I don't know if maybe I'll do a review of it for the channel. Don't really know how I'm going to go about doing that, but I'm sure I'll find a way if I decide to do it. But what's up?
Yeah, because I'm thinking back, it's like, cause I think we've talked about it before on the channel, is there's one episode that's very comedic, and then the next episode is actually about Pokemon death. It's like,
yeah. Like, Sun and Moon seem to do a lot of things for basically shock value's sake. Some stuff worked in that sense, and other stuff was kind of wasn't really well received for me. But I guess my thing is, I try to look at the positives of Sun and Moon because everyone who hates it. It's like, oh, well, Sun and Moon's terrible. It's all this, and that. I'm like, be careful, guys, because the next series could be worse for you. Like, it could be. I'm not saying I want it to be good, and I think it's gonna. I think it'll be pretty decent, but at the same time, and be grateful for the good episodes Sun and Moon had because it could be. It could instantly vanish next season. It could be just completely run down and everything.
Yeah, that's very true. So, what do you think of meeting someone whose dream is actually the dream of what the original Pokemon had underneath its title? Like, Go's goal apparently is to catch everything.
That would be nice. Would you have them as a more hero, villain, anti-hero? What would you have with that?
I don't know, because I assume based on everything we've seen, he looks like he's going to be a main character. I would say he's probably going to be similar to Ash, but I'm guessing he's not. Ash is going to now move on from to be more of battling. That's what he likes to do. He likes to build smaller teams of Pokemon from each region that he can be close to and are good for battling, while Go will now be focusing on catching everything.
I'd be fine with that. I guess maybe my one issue with that might be is if he catches more and more Pokemon, you're really only allowed to have 6. So if he just starts catching everything, people will be like, well, why can't we see this Pokemon on the team? Why can't we see this? Even though I don't necessarily think that's an issue because just about every Pokemon gets their own centric episode in the new region. So I think they might find a way to handle that better than people might think.
Yeah, I think what I would do is, because they've already announced his partner Score Bunny, maybe that he only keeps Score Bunny with him at all times. So the rest are at whatever professor's lab being together, and he goes and visits on occasion. I don't know if they're even going to be traveling together yet.
Yeah, well, get it. Speaking of, what do you think the girl? Dang, we literally just said her name. Anyways, whatever. What's her face? The new girl. What do you think? Because I don't think they're gonna do contests or showcases. What do you think is gonna be the? Do you think she's gonna have her own goal, or will she kind of be like Misty and just sort of be like, oh, I have goals. They're the yes.
I really don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to bring in something new to fill in that kind of void, or, I mean, the way they've got it shot, she could be the rival for the for Ash in this season. Where,
Really?
yeah, I mean, it could be. I wouldn't mind it. She may want to be a champion, and he's already won a league, so now her goal is to beat him, and maybe throughout the series, Ash is kicking her butt throughout the entire series.
Yeah, that would Koharu. That's her name.
Yeah, that may change when we get English dub though.
Man, maybe who knows? But it would be funny if the whole time Ash just kept beating her in the series more and more, and he's just like, man, it's taking you this long to beat me, and she's like, it took you this long to win a league. Shut up.
But then I think that towards the end it would be a battle between both of them that's kind of reminiscent of Ash versus Gary or Ash versus Paul, where you see the growth. Now Ash will probably win still, but it'll be a much closer fight than any of the previous ones. It'll be kind of the opposite of Black and White, where she's a new trainer and Ash is supposed to be this experienced trainer and then loses. It'll be the opposite. Ash actually kicks her butt, even though she keeps challenging him.
Yeah, and if she makes boneheaded mistakes, it's fine because, like, you know what? She's a new trainer. Even though she worked under the professor, being in the heat of the battle, that's different. Kind of like how I feel like if we were in the anime, we'd make like 1 or 2 mistakes and then just completely destroy everybody.
Yeah.
And just sit on my throne and laugh at everybody.
Yeah. Neither of us play competitive Pokemon, just so you know.
No, we are terrible. We are so bad. We just know we're better than everybody else in the show, and you could be probably the worst ranked trainer online, and you'd probably still be better than most people on the show.
Yeah.
So, I guess one of the final points I want to get to is what do you think is going to be in terms of the other regions? Because everybody kept saying, oh, there's going to be other regions implemented. Do you think that's anything, or do you think that was just them saying, hey, look how far we've come? This is what we're doing now?
I really don't know. Because when I first heard that the rumor that they were going to use multiple regions, I was like, that really makes no sense. But then they brought in Go and mentioned that his goal is to catch all the Pokemon, and they specifically mentioned that while you can see Pokemon like Magikarp in every region, pretty much, you don't see them. Or there's definitely more common places to catch Pokemon. So maybe it's like rotating episodes where you might see Ash in the Galar region while Goes in Johto and then Hoenn and then Kanto for catching certain Pokemon.
It would be kind of nice if they did like a Grand Theft Auto style. When you switch to different characters, they're all doing something completely different. Obviously, you
Yeah,
can't have them acting like Trevor and tying people to poles and throwing them off bridges and waking up in deserts in their underwear and stuff like that. But
why
something,
not?
buddy. The characters are age undefined, and just in case, I don't want to get in trouble for having an age undefined person in that state.
Yeah, we understand.
Yeah,
No, but yeah, but yeah, I agree though with um where it could be during the same episode you have two different arcs going on showing what Ash is doing and then what Go's doing. More than likely, I imagine they'll probably be traveling together like normal though.
yeah, probably. So, all right, I have to ask this because our newest subscriber wasn't happy about me for saying this. So I want to get your thoughts on this. What do you think Serena's influence will be on the show?
If if all the regions are involved, then there could be definitely room for some returning characters, but like most series, once a character is gone, like how Brock and Misty have gone, May, Dawn, they can come back for a few episodes, but they're probably going to focus on the new trainers.
So you're saying you don't. So you're saying you don't think Serena will have too much of an impact.
No, I believe that we'll probably see if it is involving all of them, we'll probably see a whole bunch of characters returning. But if it is more focused on Galar, then we may not see them at all.
So you hate Ash and Serena shipping. That's what you're telling me.
I'm neither for it nor against it. As you've clearly mentioned, these are supposed to be like 10-year-old kids, so
Yeah, yeah. I remember Veronica Taylor said that she's just like somebody said, who do you like more, Ash and May or Ash and Misty? And she's immediately like, well, well, one, he's a 10-year-old kid, so that's a weak. So he probably wouldn't want to have anything to do with that. And two, he would probably be a terrible boyfriend. I'm like, yeah, he might be the worst.
you want to be my girlfriend? What's that? A new type of Pokemon?
As your boyfriend, do I shock you?
So yeah, I don't mind the little crush kind of thing that they did with pretty much all the female companions where they had someone, is he your boyfriend kind of thing, and then uh like Serena got jealous, or Misty got angry, May was embarrassed, Dawn was embarrassed. I don't remember what Iris was.
Iris existed, but just barely.
I'm pretty sure Lana or
They kind of tease it with Lana, but I don't think they've ever made a point of saying it.
but yeah, they I don't think I ever want an actual ship unless they make a completely different show where the characters are a bit or are older.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. But really, I just want to satisfy our newest subscriber because as the new plan for this is every video when we get a new subscriber, or even if we get like hypothetically, if we get 700 subscribers, we're gonna list off every single one of them in the video. We're totally not gonna regret this if this channel ever makes it big, which it probably will not.
You heard that first. Alex is going to read off every person who ever subscribes to this channel.
Okay, first of all, we're all going to do it. You're just as far as much of this channel as I am. And you're calling me by my first name, Baka. Whatever. Tiana Jones. Do you have anything to say to our newest subscriber, Williamson, Sean?
Thank you for subscribing. We're small. We don't really know what we're doing. We're doing this mainly to get our thoughts out there, let other people have a chance to say what they want.
That was heartfelt. That was
so yes, leave a comment if there's something you want us to talk about. We'd be more than glad to. I mean, we've talked a lot about Pokemon. I think we've mentioned Dragon Ball and Naruto before, but I don't know. We've mainly talked about Pokemon, so.
Heck, Williamson's a huge fairy tale fan. Maybe if anybody wants to hear his thoughts on that, go for it.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, and we can also talk about other animes such as what else do we watch?
Foster watched Psyche K. If you want to hear his thoughts on how much better the first season is than the second, then you can always ask him.
Oh, you're gonna get me killed for that, especially since season 3 is coming out. Whatever. Here, we discuss in the comments what you want us to talk about. Probably should have said this early in the video, but who knows? If you made it this far, you might as well stick it out until we try to kill each other again.
Anime Summit 2025 coming soon.
In 8 to 12 years. But overall, final thoughts. I didn't really care that much that Ash won the league, but I guess in a sense it's fine to just get it out of the way. Even though it took 20-something years, I'm happy to move on to different pastures with new characters and everything. I'm excited for the future of Pokemon, both in anime and in gaming.
I agree. I think by the looks of it, there's going to be more to this next series, back to actually exploring a region versus here's an episode here, here's an episode there. So we'll get, I think, a bit more out of this next series.
Of course. And even if we don't, we're stuck here. We are stuck here regardless.
Yeah.
But we have our favorite subscriber, Jacob Clanton. So that's all I really care about. That's all. Favorite fan.
They're all our favorite at this point.
Yeah, all three of them. All three of them that are subscribed at this point. Probably shouldn't have said that. Forget I said that. We have tons of subscribers and fans. But anyways, what do you want for this series? What do you think of Ash winning? Just get your thoughts out there on the Pokemon anime in general. Do you think he should have won the league early? Do you think maybe he shouldn't win at all? What do you want for the next series? Do you think the professor is going to fuse Yamper and his daughter to create a chimera-like creature? That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for. What do you think?
Oh, were you actually asking me?
Anybody.
Big Brother Edward?
And the second, Big Brother Ash. I'm not your brother. Silly you. We just let the professor get away with more and more horrible crime. Anyways, he's just a serial killer the whole time.
I guess we didn't discuss the fact that there's now 2 professors. Oh well.
Yeah. So one will talk about Pokemon research. The other will talk about Pokemon research. Is there anything else?
No.
Yeah. All right. Hey, one's an old lady and one's a serial killer who will fuse his daughter with the Emperor. Anyways, guys, that was fun. Hope you all had a great. I hope you all felt great about that optimistic, wonderful, peace-loving conversation we had. And we will see you in the next video, which should be. I'd like to do another one of these next week, but who knows with our schedule and everything. We'll figure it out. Anyways, this has been Foster.
And Williamson.
And this has been another edition of the Anime Eogtists Bias Roundtable. And it's Foster from the Anime Eogtists saying, if you disagree, you're wrong. See you in hell! Bye. Wait, bye. Bye. What a bunch of idiots. Like, they seriously think we're going to pay attention and care about the...
You're still recording.
Stop recording.